Let's learn how to use Korean pronouns. 대명사. 내 가족, 우리 가족. Number 1. In Korean, pronouns are used less frequently. Instead, people often refer to others using their titles, names, or family terms. Let's take a look at examples. 내 친구 이름은 진이에요. And after this sentence, typically in English, she lives in Seoul, right? But in Korean, we use the name again. 진이는 서울에 살아요. I'm going to her home now. Her home, not 그녀의 집, but 진이 집. 진이 집, her home. 내일 진이 집에 갈 거예요. So as you see, 진이, 진이, 진이. Her names are used 3 times. She, like 그녀, her, 그녀의 are not used at all. I hear it is similar in Polish language as well. How about in your language? Next one. Again, use their titles, names, or family terms. 저희 엄마는 선생님이에요. My mom, 저희 엄마, being polite, right? Not 내 엄마 or 우리 엄마. She, 엄마는 김치를 맛있게 만드세요. So, my mom, she, 저희 엄마, 엄마. That's how Korean is used. To me, 저는 엄마 김치가 제일 맛있어요. Her 김치, not 그녀의 김치. So as you see in the examples, in Korean, titles and names are repeatedly used. These are pronouns. 나, 너, 우리. I believe you are familiar with these 3 pronouns. Here, 당신, meaning you. This expression is not really used very much unless you read a story, poem, song lyrics, or married couple call each other 당신. And as you see here in this group, to make plural pronouns, 들 is added. Oh, here you can say 우리 or 우리들. Both are good. Let's take a look at he, 그. So he is, then you say 그는, like 나는. But again, unless you read a story or a poem, you hardly hear 그는 expression. Instead, we use 그 남자, literally translated the man, 그 사람, the person. Same as she, 그 여자, the woman, 그 사람, the person. These expressions are more commonly used. You hardly see people using 그 or 그녀 in spoken language. So here again, 그 남자들, plural pronoun, 그 여자들. The men, the women. Now, so you wonder, hey, where are all the particles? Yeah, so here, we are supposed to put proper particles according to the element of it in a sentence. Number 2. Add a proper particle to make subjective, possessive, or objective pronouns. So as you see, yeah, these are the troublemakers, right? It is never easy to understand how to use these at first, but it'll sink in over time. Don't worry too much. So, 나는 너를 좋아해. So the subject particle 는 is used after 나는 you object. 너를, yeah, we use 을 or 를 for object. 너를 좋아해. 나는 너를 좋아해. Perfect. Now, 당신의 미소가 그리워요. 당신, you. Now let's make your add 의, right? So possessive 의, like my, 나의, our, 우리의, your, 너의. 당신의 미소가 그리워요. I miss your smile. Like I said earlier, in spoken Korean, 당신 is not used very much, so you can see this in a letter, story, poem, or that kind of literature. Number 3. Particles are often omitted. So earlier, we made 나는 너를 좋아해, subject, object. But we can actually omit all these guys and say 나, 너 좋아해, completely fine. Without particle, this sentence exactly conveys what the first sentence does. So, 나, subject position, blah blah, 좋아해, verb position, right? So, I like you. 나, 너 좋아해. 당신의 미소가 그리워요. 의 possessive particle, then 의 remove it. 당신 미소가 그리워요. Perfectly fine. Yeah, this is what I mentioned earlier, right? So 당신, 그, 그녀, you, he, she are used in literature. 그는 그녀를 좋아해요. In real life, you never hear people using 그, 그녀 in sentences. Then, yeah, let's work on putting proper particles here. As you see, 있는 이가 is the subject particle. So, like, 나는 or 내가. You know the difference between 있는 and 이가, right? Yeah. 나 and 내 doesn't have the final consonant. This case, we choose 는 or 가. So with the final consonant, let me see. Yeah, do here. It has the final consonant. Then to make the pronunciation smooth, we use 은 or 이. You see, 이응, so 들은, 들이. It's like choosing on in English, right? Now, 우리는, if you want to say 우리들, then of course 우리들은. 너희들은, 너희들이, right? So this is used for the subject. You want to use these pronouns in the position of subject, add 있는 이가. If you need to work on how to use 있는 이가 and other particles, yeah, I suggest watching this video. Possessive particle. 의, 나의. When we speak, we hardly say 나의. We say 내, like 내 친구, 내 가족, right? 내 with a noun. And now, 너의, your. Well, you use 너의 in written Korean, but in spoken Korean, 니, it becomes 니. Like your car, 네 차. Or let's say you're referring to your husband's car, 당신 차. So mind that 의 is a possessive particle. However, in spoken Korean, 의 is omitted most of the time. So if you want to say his car, you can say 그 남자 차 or 그 사람 차. If you want to say our class, 우리 수업, rather than saying 우리의 수업, right? 5. When talking to close people, use 우리 for mine. So, 내 엄마는, 나의 엄마는, both are wrong. We say 우리 엄마는 선생님이야. 엄마는 김치를 맛있게 만드셔. Here, 엄마, 우리 엄마는 김치를 맛있게 만드셔. So, 우리 엄마, 우리 엄마. My family, 우리 가족. My teacher, 우리 선생님. 우리. You might say, when using our in a sentence, the listener must be included as well. But this is just a Korean culture. Ranging from small group to large group, when I belong to a certain group, I use 우리 club, 우리 학교, 우리 something, 우리 나라. Don't get confused. Yeah, so not 나의 나라 or 내 나라 unless you are writing a letter or some kind of essay. We say 우리나라 or 저희 나라. Okay, the difference between them, 우리나라, when you talk to people with the same nationality, 우리나라, but when talking to people with different nationality, 저희 나라, because you want to be polite and modest. Now, objective particle. 을, me, 나를, because no final consonant. So, 를, 그것을, 그 여자를, 그 사람을, right? So again, you use your friends and family's names and people's titles just repeatedly. That's it. Ginny, Ginny, Ginny. And after memorizing all these pronouns, add the proper particles depending on the element of it in a sentence, then you can make a sentence properly. However, sometimes particles are omitted, right? So you can just use 나너 좋아해. How about I drink coffee? 커피 마셔. No particles, right? That's completely fine. Next. Yeah, so 당신, 그, 그녀, you, he, she, these expressions are not really used in spoken Korean. Next. Yeah. So when you use my Korean people tend to use 우리, especially when you talk about the organization, groups that you are in. 우리 선생님, 우리 가족, 우리 학교, and 우리나라. But 저희 is polite form of 우리. Let's take some quizzes. 내 가족, 우리 가족. Which one should be used more often? Correct. 우리 가족. But that doesn't mean 내 가족 is never used. It has some usage. But not now. Next. 탐은 일해. 그는 바빠. 탐은 일해. 탐은 바빠. Which one is correct? Correct. 탐은 일해. 탐은 바빠. 탐은 맨날 바빠. So we use the name repeatedly. Next. 옆집 남자가 매일 노래를 해요. The guy living next door sings every day. And then you want to say he sings very well. 노래 완전 잘해요. Is it 그 노래 완전 잘해요? 그 사람 노래 완전 잘해요? 그 남자 노래 완전 잘해요? Which one? Actually, there are two correct answers. What are they? Correct. 그 사람 노래 완전 잘해요. 그 남자 노래 완전 잘해요. Thank you for watching the video till the end. 안녕.